What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and baby, let's get into the drama of it all. So in this video, we're going to be talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta as well as Real Housewives of New Jersey. So let's get into it. All right, y'all. So let's talk about Real Housewives of New Jersey first. So Danielle made this post about the charity event, I guess, that her and the ladies were raising money for. You know, Danielle and Jennifer got beef right now. So this is what she posted. She says $25,000 raised for at Sunrise Day Camp Staten Island from hashtag Party Like a Housewife. She goes on to say, I'll take all the jabs, the low blows, and disgusting accusations from egotistical, evil humans if it means this wonderful organization gets noticed. Bring it on. I've been working with Sunrise SI for a few years before Housewives, and when I knew I had a bigger platform and some newly famous friends, I was ecstatic to see what we could do. I wasn't known yet and not nearly as known as the others. I was fully aware of this, so I was so thankful they agreed. But let me tell you this event was by far one of the most packed events I have ever attended as a housewife with this cast, and that goes for any housewife for any franchise minus BravoCon, obviously. This is why Central Jersey is the best. The night was a spectacular. We still have fans begging for another night. Don't worry, it's coming. The VIP area. This was an honest mistake, an unfortunate situation, not made by me, but I have literally taken it on the chin for a year. It was 2 times 2 cubicles to hold just 4 castmates. There was an entire section outside these 4 seats for all of our family and friends. Unfortunately, security did not guard it correctly, and security did not guard it correctly, and it began to fill up, and fans, which led to guests of the girls believing the cubicle was in fact the entire VIP. Honest misunderstanding, which I had no idea hurt some people's feelings. My intentions were never that. I was so grateful for their time. I was so new to this world. I remember sending the girls contracts to be professional, and they responded by saying, we're friends, we don't need this. I just wanted to do the right thing. I always want to do the right thing. What has since transpired is a true testament to the character of a certain individuals. I can't even begin to tell you what I have endured this year from people whom I trusted, worked with, championed, and loved. Fame sucks for that one reason. I will have my moment to talk about it, though, and I mean everything. For now, my husband and I sit back, enjoy the beauty that is our life, and we watch them self-destruct because they always do. And remember, good always wins. So that was Danielle's post. Then Jennifer Aiden posted this on the same day where she says, the devil card came up in my reading. A master manipulator is lurking around me. Wonder who it is. Book a tarot reading with @Amelietta_22 July. Now, I don't think tarot cards are bad. I like to watch celebrity tarot reading. So here is what I'll say about both posts. For Danielle, this whole VIP situation, I think they made a mountain out of a molehill. I think what Lena accused Danielle of doing, she actually did, because at the bougie brunch, she was very adamant that she was like, who is she? Yeah, I kicked her out of VIP. She didn't say she kicked her out of VIP, but she was like, yeah, because I was like, who is she? Because who is she? But she did your hair, so you did know her. So I feel like what Lena said you did. And then you switched it to when you were at the Gorgas party, oh, we don't need bloggers here. We don't need these people here. And to a certain extent, you're correct. But also, I got why you didn't want Laura to be there with Jennifer. There's also this rumor going around that the reason why Jennifer was really upset or why she brought up the whole bill situation is because Jennifer dropped the most money at the charity event. So I don't know how true that is, but allegedly they're saying that Jennifer gave the most, so she expected for their stuff to be featured at the party. If that is true, I get where she's coming from. If it's not, it's just a rumor, don't buy into it. But I just think this whole thing is stupid. When it comes to the whole master manipulator thing, I think that's Teresa for Jennifer. And the reason why I say that is with all of this online stuff about, Melissa's new nose, exposing everything, going on podcasts and all of that stuff, Teresa has been able to be unscathed. She's been on Watch What Happens Live. She's still getting interviews from other networks and stuff like that. She was invited to Andy's his 15th anniversary for Watch What Happens Live. I bet you she's going to be on that special that's supposed to be airing here soon. I think it's supposed to air on the 30th. She has been able to walk around pretty much unscathed, while Jennifer allegedly was banned from doing interviews. So she hasn't been able to do any of that. And I think what's going to end up happening if they do this reboot is Teresa's going to probably still be a part of it in some way. Maybe she might get her own show, but she's not going to feel the wrath of the network, but Jennifer is. So while we're talking about master manipulation and Teresa, let's talk about her husband. So this article was posted by Hollywood Unlocked. I want to say maybe on Wednesday or Tuesday, but it has everything to do with Louis, and they alleging that him and his business partner owe millions to several companies, and they're also being accused of fraud. So let's read it. It says Teresa Giudice's husband and Viviana CEO accused of fraud owes millions to companies. It says Luis Ruiz and Marcelo GVSO. Oh, girl, y'all know me and names. CEO of Viviana are reportedly embroiled in allegations of financial misconduct involving millions of dollars owed to employees, companies, vendors, agencies, despite their empty business accounts. Switzerland-based Viviana aims to help content creators monetize their live streaming. Despite Ruel's claims of no ties to Giudice's, sources indicate the two share an office space in Los Angeles. Accidentally, an Instagram reel featured Ruelas endorsing Viviana, hinting at their collaboration. Recently, it was reported that Ruelas secured a $1 million loan using his mansion as collateral. Close sources revealed Giudice reportedly instructed employees that Ruelas was an investor, mandating a $300,000 check to be written to a fictitious entity named Influencer Nation and another $100,000 for personal use by him and his sons. It emerged that Influencer Nation was a non-existent with no actual investors behind it. Giudice is also accused of engaging in fraudulent $6 million deal with the D'Amelio family, which fell through following fan backlash. He purposely approached U.S. banks for loans due to a lack of funds for upfront payments to vendors and unwilling to utilize personal funds. Several Swiss vendors and contractors reportedly remain unpaid, and the company often fails to meet payroll deadlines due to insufficient funds, leading to the termination of employee health insurance. Sources also disclosed that Viviana falsely claimed expansion through a new platform called Video Presso, which was founded by Randall Bennett and not associated with Viviana. Additionally, all but one employee at Viviana were terminated after the company reportedly accrued an additional debt of $1.5 million owed to various companies in May. Close sources revealed that Giudice is accused of fabricating emails from Viviana to another company attempting to elicit and secure $60 million. Furthermore, he is alleged to owe over $335,000 to another business following bounce payments stemming from fraudulent wire transfer and credit card transaction. Aimed at these allegations, Giudice nor Ruelas have released a statement, and Viviana's comments are turned off on social media platforms. So y'all already know, if you would like to read this article for yourself, the link to the article will be in the description box below. And what's so crazy to me about this article coming out is that I recently did one of my other drama videos about Louis and this Viviana situation. Well, it really wasn't about this situation. It was this event planner called Wife of the Party calling him out, saying that allegedly he never paid her for her services or the vendors there. And I will link that video in the description box below. Y'all know I try my best to timestamp videos because I like a timestamp. Okay, so hit it, and at the end of that, of the New Jersey part of the video, I talk about the whole situation with Wife of the Party. And there's also an article in the description box that is a lot. If you want more information about it, click on that article and read about it. I don't know, was it In Touch Weekly? I think In Touch Weekly was talking about this whole situation. So there was already smoke around this Viviana situation. And basically, the app is supposed to be like a knockoff of TikTok. That's what it looked like when I was, and if I still have that video on my computer, I'll try to feed it into here, where it was basically like you can get paid for being on the app, similar to TikTok pretty much. But this is crazy to me. This is crazy to me because I'm like, it doesn't seem like Louis will get into a lot of trouble, because it seems like the CEO is the one that's been doing a lot more fraudulent stuff. He was supposed to be an investor, but maybe he could get in trouble if they said you knew that the business wasn't real. He might be able to get in trouble. I don't know. I really don't know. But what I do hope is that Teresa is not caught up in this. Am I the fondest of Teresa? No, I'm not. She get on my nerves. But I would hate to see that lady go back to jail and her kids get re-traumatized. Like, her daughters do not deserve her going back to jail. They really don't. They really don't. And you put aside all the fandom BS and people being like Team Melissa or Team Teresa or Team Margaret and all of that stuff. In all honesty, I don't want to see that lady in jail. I really don't. And it's basically because of her kids. Because I can only imagine her going back to jail and how that would really mess them up even more. And I just don't want that for them. And I'm hoping while Teresa was in prison, she listened to the women there. Because most women that are in prison because they were a ride or dying for a man. Girl, don't do it. If he get caught up, let him go. Go straight to the courthouse and divorce him. Make sure your assets are good and tell him to be on his way. Because no, ma'am, I would not be going to jail for Larry the Lobster. No way. I will go to jail for that red looking tomato of a man. I could not go to jail for that. I can't go to jail for no man. No man. All right. All right, y'all. So let's talk about Margaret and Jackie. So I saw this on All Truths Tea's page, but this is what was said. Margaret Joseph calls Jackie Gold Snyder a fame whore, saying Jackie would sell her own mother down the river. And Jackie was in the comments of this post saying, the person needs to stop talking about my mother. It's classless. So I was like, when did Margaret say this? So basically, I think they started to do the after shows on for Real Housewives of New Jersey. Now, mind you, it's not the way it normally is, where it's like 2 housewives paired together or sometimes 3, and then you normally have maybe one person, if the group is uneven, sitting by themselves. Everybody in this one is sitting by themselves. Now, I'm not going to play the audio because sometimes the Bravo YouTube page be striking things down so quickly, and I'm just not in the mood to argue, but I will try to find that video and link it in the description box below if you would like to hear it for yourself. So the topic of conversation was Jackie and Teresa's new relationship. And we end up seeing Jackie, Melissa, Jennifer Fessler, and Danielle, Rachel, and Margaret. The only people we didn't see in this video was Teresa and Jen. And basically, Melissa says the relationship is kind of weird because she remembers how broken up Jackie was and how Jackie and Teresa used to be at each other's throats. That it's weird the way the relationship is now. You then have Margaret saying what she said about Jackie selling her mother up the river for fame because she's a fame whore. But she also said that Jackie was no better than Teresa. She's just Teresa with a formal education. When I tell you, there is no love lost on Margaret's part when it comes to Jackie, because she was whacking Jackie in this little part. I said, dang, girl, now she is just a Teresa with a formal education. Then Jackie ends up saying that her and Teresa talked at Jennifer Fessler's party. It was a nice conversation, and she said they just started to really get to know each other. She also said that Teresa, I think she said Teresa is the only one that she has talked to this day. Like, she was like, Teresa and I just got off the phone with each other out of all the cast members that have actually called her. And then she even said that, like, going into this season, the cast was already like heavily divided and people had picked teams, and she was like, that doesn't make a good show. But I was just like, girl, this is messy. I wonder if they're gonna go at it again, or maybe that situation that happened at the Gorgas party between Jackie and Margaret is like where their friendship ended. But because if you look at the trailer, you don't see them arguing anymore. But I also heard that we're supposed to be getting a mid-season trailer, because this is a very short season because they couldn't get it together. So the last thing we're going to talk about is this post that TV Deets posted yesterday. They got it from an article written by The Sun. If I can find the article, I'll put it in the description box below. But it says this. It says, the RHONJ cast is reportedly anxious about the show's future amid low ratings and the reunion being canceled. It seems like the cast is more anxious about what's going to happen next and just waiting for another update. A Bravo insider tells The Sun they're scared of speaking out and possibly having it backfire and putting their jobs on the line. Execs are keeping a close eye on what they are posting on social media because there have been many leaks to fan pages. So let's talk about this statement in steps. So the first one says, it seems like the cast is more anxious about what's going to happen next and just waiting for another update, a Bravo insider tells The Sun. This is their fault. I blame production and I blame the cast. I blame the production and I blame the cast. The next part is they're scared of speaking out or possibly having it backfire and putting their job on the line. Again, production and staff's fault and the cast's fault. And then the last part is execs are keeping a close eye on their posts on social media because there have been many leaks to fan pages. And I saw some people be like, ooh, they're talking about Teresa and Jennifer. And honestly, no, y'all, they're talking about all of them. That's why I'm not moved by anything that Melissa's new nose comes out with, is because they all play in the mud. They all talk to these bloggers. They all give tea to people. How do you think they be getting blind items? And more than likely, it's somebody close to the camp tapping their friend on the shoulder to be like, oh, go give them this. Like, tell them this. Like, I promise y'all, all of them play in the mud, and nobody's really moved by it. I think what's really causing all of this is those low ratings. But I think production did it to themselves, and I think the ladies did it to themselves. In what world did you think it was okay to tell us we weren't getting a traditional reunion? And I was watching Nikki Star TV's channel. I really enjoy her content. And she was saying that the reunion is normally the highest rated episodes in the seasons. Like, the reunions are normally the highest rated episodes in the season. And she also said the reunions normally cost the most because they have the set and everything. And she was like, the fact that they canceled the reunion, that means that ship is sinking, and it's sinking fast. And I was just like, y'all should have never told us we weren't getting a reunion, because people want to see resolution. People want to see these women have hard conversations and really talk about what happened throughout the season. And the fact that you took that away, nobody's invested anymore. I've seen a lot of people be like, what's the point in watching this show if we know we're not getting a reunion and they about to reboot it? I can't refute that, because I know for me, I told y'all this a Frito ass season to me. Like a bunch, just like, if I wasn't reviewing the show, I promise you I would just watch this show through clips, because it's not very entertaining. Like, the people I want to have conversations aren't having conversations. I want Margaret and Teresa to have a conversation. I want Rachel and Teresa to sit down and have a conversation without their husbands. There are things that I want to see I'm not seeing. And nobody really has anything going on like that. So of course them ratings were about to be low, but also production did themselves a disservice by not forcing these women to actually sit down and do their jobs. Granted, we know it's reality TV, but they're also getting paid. you're also getting paid. You should have told them real quick. If you cannot muster up some type of something to sit in this person's presence and try your best to like be cordial, then maybe you don't need to be on this show. Maybe we need to dock your pay. Something like that. But I don't know how they thought this season was going to turn out good when people were pissed at Potomac. And that fractured mess. A lot of people are just saying, bring on the reboot. Like I've seen people be like, oh, I'll just watch once they reboot it. Like nobody is really invested anymore. And that's why the ratings are going down, to be honest, in my opinion. But let's move on to Real Housewives of Atlanta. All right, like I said, let's move on to Real Housewives of Atlanta. So before we get into the mess, because it is messy, let's talk about the positives first. So congratulations are in order to Nene. This was posted today by TV Deets, where it says Nene Leakes is starring in and producing a new clip show series set to air this summer on Lifetime, Outrageous Love with Nene Leakes. See the former Real Housewives of Atlanta star highlights the ups and downs of couples' love lives while drawing from her own life experiences. So congratulations. You know, I told y'all I used to stan for Nene Leakes, and she lost me a while ago, but that doesn't mean I don't want to see her doing well. And I think this is great for her. I wonder if it's going to be like ridiculousness where they're just looking at like YouTube clips, or now that we have like TikTok and Instagram, if it's going to be that, like that type of clip show, or is she going to be looking at clips and having the couples come in and like tell their sides of the story? But again, congratulations are in order for her. Like, would it be great to have Nene back on Bravo? Yes, but she nuked that bridge. So I'm happy that other networks are willing to pick her up, and I really do hope that this show is successful for her. So another positive story is today, according to In Touch Weekly, Kenya Moore is officially divorced. Amen, girl. Amen. Now, I'm not going to read the article because honestly, from what I saw in the Cliff Notes, they basically are leaving the divorce with what they came into the marriage with. Like, she doesn't have to pay him spousal support. I do think he has to pay child support. She has sole custody of Brooklyn. But he gets visitation rights, as well as I think she can also have Brooklyn on Real Housewives of Atlanta or any TV show that she's on, as long as she lets him know, and vice versa, he has to do the same thing. So I think that's a big one for Kenya, because I think they were only married for like maybe 3 years, but they've been trying to divorce for the past like 5. Like, let's see. Let me look at this. Let me ask Google. When did Kenya Moore get married? So she got married in 2017, y'all. And then they split in September of 2019. And she filed for divorce, I think, in 2022. And now it's 2024. And she just now getting a divorce. Girl, that's why you always have to have a prenup, y'all. You always have to have a prenup. Even if you don't think you have enough, or you don't think you have anything like that somebody will want, you just never know. So always protect yourself, because my God, today, that's mess. That is mess. But congratulations to her. So let's talk about the mess. So the continuation of, you know, revenge PRN gate. So I meant to do a video last week, but I was tired of talking about it. But we got new information, so I decided, why not talk about it and keep up to date. So on June the 15th, Candace Dillard Bassett from Real Housewives of Potomac posted this, and Kenya ended up like replying to it with clapping hands emojis. But Candace said this: also, before I forget, the line is always moving. Stay trill out here. They will set you up quick, fast, and in a hurry. And then, like I said, Kenya was underneath that comment clapping. And I've been seeing a lot of rumors and a lot of speculations about this whole entire situation. Some people feeling like production is trying to scapegoat Kenya. Some people were saying that they felt like they production was doing too much. You also have Kenya's friend, I think it's Akala or Kayla. Y'all know her, really pretty friend with the big hair. She's light skinned. We saw her the last 2 seasons of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and we thought she was going to be like a part of the show, or at least like a friend of, and then they paid her dust. But she posted this on June the 16th where she said, "One thing about the truth, ... So a lot of people felt like she was talking about the whole situation with Kenya, pretty much saying that like the truth is going to come to light and Kenya is going to have the last laugh. Now, I told y'all, something about this story is not connecting. Like the dots are just not connecting for me. And maybe that's because to a certain extent, I hold Kenya not in high regard, but I think she's smarter than to do something like this. But also, I haven't seen the information for my own eyes. Now, I know in my last video that I talked about this with, I showed y'all that edited photo where someone pretty much put Britney like a post. It looked like a doctored picture where it was Britney and a Photoshop penis in the picture, and people were like, that wasn't on the screen. Someone actually found the IG story where the TV wasn't even on. But I have seen a theory now where people were like, what if that actually was what was on the poster? And I was like, okay, if that really is what was on the poster, then that's not revenge PORN. It's childish, but the picture of what was on the post, what was photoshopped into that one scene, is basically Britney's. It looks like Britney's. What's it called? What do you call profile pic? It's one of the pictures I see every time I try to do find a picture of Britney Edie to have like a thumbnail, and it looks like an advertisement for her business, and then it was just a penis in there. I mean, like, that to me is not revenge porn. That is just somebody that got too much time on their hand, and it's childish. You know what I'm saying? If that is really what was on the poster, then that to me is not that deep. But to me, Kenya probably should have covered her bases if that is it, and put an eggplant, because everybody knows what an eggplant is. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, the dots just ain't connecting for me. But that's not to say if I get new information and what they are alleging Kenya did is true, then I'll come back and say, you know what? She did what they said she did. It is what it is. You know, the consequences of your own actions caught up to you, ma'am. So it's just so much like rumors and speculations coming out surrounding Real Housewives of Atlanta. On several blog pages and Twitter pages that normally are pretty accurate about their news, I've been hearing that Kenya is fired, that the indefinite suspension is like the entire, we won't probably even see her that much. Like, they're like, she might come in and out for like cameos, but we won't see her for the season. Bravos and Cocktails was reporting this. They said, subject, so long in Atlanta. It says, spill it at bravosandcocktails.com. Kenya is done. NBC has a zero tolerance for this at this current point in time and doesn't want legal repercussions from Brit. The footage has all been reviewed and wasn't a good look for Kenya on any level. Production was even shocked. So they posted this. I then saw another blog page that was like, yeah, King is fired. But I'm like, okay, I keep checking to see if any credible sites have posted that, like, hey, girl, she gone. Like, I would believe that she was fired if it came from People Magazine or Bryce Sanders, because normally they get the okay from Bravo. But I've also thought, like, okay, maybe she did get fired, but they're saying it's an indefinite suspension to keep her fans, because people may not like Kenya, but Kenya has a loyal following. And a lot of people were like, if Kenya is not on this show, I'm tapping out. And it was way more than I ever thought. Like, I saw a lot of people on Twitter hit that hashtag and say, I'm not watching this show without Kenya. Even people that don't really even care for Kenya was like, I'm not watching this show without Kenya. Me being one of those people that, like I told you, I'm a reformed Kenya hater. But I did think, like, what is this show going to be if she's not on it? because the draw of the show that I think production thought what it was going to be is us seeing Kenya and Portia in a new light together, as well as, you know, Portia was supposed to be like the prodigal son coming back triumphantly, but bam, she filed for divorce. They got immigration issues, scammer, the person that they beefing with, which is her soon-to-be ex-husband, he got his foot on Portia's neck. She can't film in that Rolls Royce. She also can't film in that big house of hers. So it's like all her scenes are going to be group scenes or her meeting with one-on-ones, which takes away from her altogether as a housewife. So I'm like, okay, you losing that part. If Kenya, like I said, if Kenya's gone, so you lost, but basically your two anchors. Drew can't anchor a show. Low key, it don't even look like Drew is filming with everybody like that. We don't know Kelly. We don't know Britt. And Angela Oakley seems cool, but I don't know that lady to even care enough to want to like let her be the anchor. Shamia cool, but like, okay, it's Shamia. And I love me some Cynthia's like cheekbones face, but it's just like Cynthia is not a draw for me to watch this show. So I've also been seeing them say that like the network is like allegedly thinking about like starting over and scrapping it. But honestly, who knows at this point? It's so much stuff that's like up in the air. It's just crazy. One rumor that I saw that was very prominent, like I said, was that Britt and Kenya lawyered up, as well as I heard that Britt was thinking about quitting the show. Well, the RHOA talk confirmed that Britt is not quitting. So they said this: Brittany has confirmed she is not quitting season 16 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I guess they asked her, they said, I'm hearing you're thinking about quitting, hashtag RHOA. Please don't. I was so excited to get to know you on the show. I know it's a mess right now, but it will get better. Your energy, you're the energy the show needs. And then she responded by saying, I'm not. Earlier in the week, she was liking all these types of posts on her page that were pretty much shading the hell out of Kenya. So they also posted this: Britt with a few likes comment under her recent IG post, hashtag RHOA. So it says, don't quit, hashtag RHOA. Coming for that center peach, hashtag RHOA. You drove 90s Miss USA to the ground. And the other one says, girl, I'm so ready for you to shake some shit up on RHOA. Can't wait. And then the last one was, I know them girls are shook by @Britt Edie. Got these girls risking their jobs. So it seems like Britt is down for whatever beef she got with Kenya if Kenya is on the show, as well as she's not quitting the show. So another thing that just popped in my head about if Kenya is fired is that she might have a lawsuit against them. And the reason why I say that is a lot of people have been bringing up how a lot of like inappropriate things have happened on Bravo between castmates, and the people are never reprimanded who do the inappropriate thing. So like someone brought up how Tom Sandoval and Ariana are still like on Vanderpump's Rules, even got their salaries increased. And right now, Raquel, aka Rachel, is suing both of them for revenge PORN. Tom is basically right now filming for Traitors season 3, and Ariana is the host of Love Island right now. And no one is batting an eye or saying anything. Then you have someone that brought up what happened to Danielle Staubs on Real Housewives of New Jersey, and I totally forgot about it. So Danielle was talking to someone about it. Someone said, okay, Kenya is suspended, but that violent meatball, now I don't know if that, I feel like that's a slur because, you know, he's Italian. I'm not saying this. This account called Perfect Housewife is saying this. They said over in New Jersey, he spent 11 seasons verbally abusing Teresa with some of the most vile language, verbally attacking women at BravoCon. And he said what he said about Danielle Staubs on camera that aired was sick. Hashtag RHOA, hashtag RHONJ. So Danielle responded to this person by saying, yes, what they all said was disgusting. They regurgitated things I had already gone through for the sole purpose humiliation, using something that was made in private well before fame. It was taken and released without my consent. That is revenge PORN, and it's illegal. And what Danielle is talking about is when they were at like that poker night and Several of the house husbands on Real Housewives of New Jersey were passing around the phone of Danielle and her sex tape. And I totally forgot about that. And that was out of line. So I feel like if Kenya does get fired, then she has a case. She has a case because it's like y'all never reprimand any of these white men for what they are doing against their female counterparts. But y'all want to chastise her. But I also look at Kenya like, girl, you know they don't give you any grace. They use you for promotion and promo, but they never give you any grace, Kenya. Like the fact that they allowed Robin to film for season 8 of Real Housewives of Potomac after she pretty much lied and didn't tell any of us, but like omission of the truth, that Juan cheated on her. And then when it came out and she was able to come back as a full-time housewife, where you ended up getting married and they sat you down for a season. Didn't even let, and then when you came back, it was like you were a friend of. So you should have been way smarter about doing this whole situation with Brittany. So with me talking about Kenya, let's talk about this article that was posted on the 20th about Kenya being accused of owing 5-figure tax bill amid alleged RHOA suspension. So this is coming from In Touch, and basically it says the Real Housewife of Atlanta star Kenya Moore was hit with a tax bill weeks before she was allegedly suspended indefinitely from Bravo's show In Touch can exclusively reveal. It says, according to the court documents obtained by In Touch, the reality star was slammed with a Ferry Farsi by Fulton County. So basically, it's Kenya need to pay her taxes. It said the document was filed on March the 14th. Says Kenya 53 owes $14,139.55 in taxes, plus an interest of $562 for a grand total of $14,711.80. And this was basically an unpaid tax bill from 2023. So it just sounds like Kenya need to pay her taxes. Like, I guess she forgot to pay her taxes, or she didn't file her taxes. And that's one thing I've learned, that if you don't file your taxes, the government actually takes more from you. So I don't know why she didn't file her taxes, but I was like, let's talk about it, because I've been seeing the blogs and people talk about it. But yeah, Kenya, pay your taxes. So while we're talking about Kenya, let's talk about this Tiffany Rose girl. So I remember that a couple of blog pages were reporting that Tiffany Rose was in the process of like being screened or tested to be on the show. And they said that her and Kenya got into it, and Kenya basically read her down to the ground. Like, she got read for filth and chose not to come back to the show. Well, Mad Beefs and the RHOA Talk are reporting about Tiffany's behavior. So Tiffany is very gleeful about Kenya possibly getting fired and suspended. So she said this: Tiffany Rose, who is a friend of Drew and was originally supposed to be a newbie on RHOA, confirmed what I said about Kenya Moore reading her down. Tiffany said, forget this show. She is saying Kenya is fired. So she made these posts where she said, at Kenya, God don't like ugly. She then said this because someone asked her in the DMs. They said, what's your beef with Kenya? Tell me tomorrow. She said, OMG, can't wait to tell you. She made sure to make a big deal about me coming on the Housewives of Atlanta show. I was going to be one of the newest housewives. They wanted to make Pit my business again. So I guess Tiffany Rose also has like a hair business. So she's saying production wanted to pit the two of them against each other, and she made a huge deal about it. Looked up my house information in Atlanta and started stalking me. And then Tiffany, the person responds to Tiffany by saying her dresses look like ashless chaps. She says, to try and find dirt on me, it was crazy. And now look, she's fired and we have a new show coming. So I guess that means Tiffany is going to be on a different reality show, possibly on a different network. But I don't think it's wrong for Kenya to have an issue with them trying to pit her business together, especially when she says she was already struggling with her business. And I was like, the stalking part, looking up your house information is not stalking, because that's public record, in my opinion. Is it weird and a little bit uncomfortable? Yeah, but it's not stalking unless she was driving past your house like Monica on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So Tiffany took to her comments to like expound upon what she meant about Kenya stalking her in her Instagram DMs, where she said, the fact that she looked up my house information and I only lived 8 minutes from her was crazy. She was so concerned about my personal business. She went too far with Brit. Now look, fired. And I have a new show coming that is a new franchise. Can't wait to share more info. So then people in the comments responded to her saying, house information is public records, and why would anyone need to look up someone that lives 8 minutes away, sis? You got tricked by production to beef with Kenya, and she put an end to it. And then another person said, get him. I'm so proud of you. You deserve this. You worked your ass off. God sees you. I don't know. I don't feel like somebody looking you up to see how far you live is stalking. Like I said, as long as she not driving past your house like Monica was doing to Jen Shaw, I don't think it's that big of a deal. So then Mad Beefs posted another conversation that I guess one of their friends had. So they said, Tiffany Rose responds to my friend Drew Sidora News saying Kenya stopped her bag. Looks like Tiffany is trying to slice Kenya like a pizza. So it's another text message conversation where she says, facts on top of facts. Funny how the tables turn. So the person said, child, spill some tea. I heard that you were joining RHOA and she stopped that. And she said, yes, facts. I don't think Kenya can stop somebody from joining the show. I just don't think you cut it and they let you go and now you're mad. Because if Kenya really ate you up the way that they said that she ate you up, and by your behavior it's looking like you got ate up, you weren't serving a purpose. I feel like even if you got ate up or if Kenya didn't like you, they would still have you on the show because they would want you to have a beef with Kenya. It seems like, ma'am, you didn't rise to the occasion and you just mad at Kenya. So like I've been saying, you guys, there's so many rumors going on, and Mad Bees posted this new rumor yesterday where they said, this is the rumor. And it's like two peach emojis with a X sign, kind of like a cancel sign, and then 5 peach emojis plus a new peach. And so somebody responded by saying, I think I got it. 2 peaches are fired or demoted. 5 peaches remain the same, and we are getting a new peach holder. And Mad Beef responded saying, oh, you really got it down to the demotion. So I guess that either 2 people got demoted from their sources are telling them, not fired, and they're getting a new peach. I wonder if that means that they demoted Kenya, if they demoted possibly Drew, because honestly, y'all, every time I hear people talking about like who they film with, I never hear them mention Drew. Like Portia just did an Amazon Live where she said that she had a sit down dinner with Kelly, Cynthia, and Shamia. And I'm like, well, why wasn't Drew invited? And then I've seen Kelly and Brittany together hanging out, and there's no Drew. We see Kenya and Portia hanging out and Shamia hanging out with Portia. And it's like, is she even in the room with y'all? So maybe she got demoted, but I wonder who they're speculating the 2 people that got demoted or fired. So like I said, Portia was on Amazon Live and she said that she filmed with Cynthia, Kelly, and Shamia, which is interesting because I thought she had issues with Kelly, but maybe she like, we don't got time for us to be beefing like this with everything that's going on with Kenya. But let me play that clip of her talking about it.
Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm not sure when it's gonna air. I want that date. That date is so coveted. Let me tell you, I want to know when it's going to air because I'm filming it, but it's so juicy and so good. I actually want to watch it back. Like, we even filmed yesterday and I was like, my gosh, like we are so good. Like it was Cynthia, Kelly, and Shamia. And anyway, the conversation went all over the place. And I was just like, you know what? Got a pretty good little show.
So that was Portia. I was going to talk about Kelly and this bitter divorce, but I feel like it's going to be even longer. I might come back and talk about that. But if I don't, I'll just put the article in the description box below. But it looks like Portia isn't the only one going through a bad divorce. Whatever Kelly got going on over there with that ex-husband and her ex-stepdaughter, that's a mess right there. That is a mess right there. And she posted this thing to her Insta story where she said, "Not my circus, not my monkeys, but definitely know the clowns." And some people thought she was talking about Kenya versus Brittany, but I'm starting to feel like maybe she was talking about her divorce, because this was posted on the 20th of June, and the In Touch Weekly article was posted on June the 14th. And I'm like, I don't know, girl, maybe something else has happened with the divorce, but it's been pretty kind of calm. Like, we haven't heard anything really about her and her relationship, but this article is lengthy. So yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic, and definitely hop down in the comments below. I'm kind of annoyed that this video was way longer than I expected, but it is what it is. So I'm out, y'all. Deuces.